There's power in a drum beat on the hill above the sea. Power in the voice of a supporter. But it all amounts to nothing. Together we don't sing. There's power when we're North Boy seas. And we may go forever. Oh, town stingery. Valley and mountain, chaparral to the sea. And the colors of our rainbow, sunset, orange, Tory green. There's power when we're North Boy seas. ST loyal forever. Someday North County. Desert to islands. Get loud now, you and me. All our voices strong together as we cheer on our team. There is power when we're North
Welcome to the Loyal Locals podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Dyer, here sandwiched between loyal home matches. We went from a few home matches and lots of away games, and now we have a full slate of very meaningful home games coming on the heels of the Sacramento match at home on a Friday night, the first time ever Loyal has a home game on a Friday night. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, we have the evil San Antonio FCs of San Antonio, Texas, coming in to get some revenge on the Loyal, who maybe participated in some questionable sportsmanlike conduct, according to league officials. We can agree to disagree on that. And to help me wade through all of these complicated, nuanced discussions is our producer, John Cross. John, how are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to contribute to this game conversation because when I was at the match, I did not get to see very much of it. I ended up in conversations and other things. So I'm hoping to learn from you guys, since I haven't rewatched it, what actually happened to earn us a 1-1 draw.
Well, we do have a special guest tonight coming on to help us. I believe he did watch the match. Nate Wiggins is here. Nate, what's up, man?
What's up? It's been a while since I've been on the show. I think it was the end of last season after the unfortunate playoff loss. So I'm really happy to be back. And yes, I did watch the match. And this was actually a bit of a special match for me because I brought my sister with me. It was her second ever Loyal match. And then I brought my best friend from college and his fiance came to the match. It was their first ever, not only Loyal match, but their first ever professional soccer match. And they had an absolute blast and definitely want to come back to another one.
Well, let's just get into it real quick. So we are on the heels of a draw to Sacramento Republic, who coming in, I believe, were the number one team in the Western Conference, a very stingy defensive team who have been scoring quite a bit lately in a fairly potent attack. We did suffer at the hands of that in the match, but we did come out with that 1-1 draw. Still missing key pieces in the lineup. Nate, what are your thoughts on the performance from Friday?
I thought it was an all right performance, especially going against a team as good as Sac Republic is, like you said, top of the Western Conference. And I could say in the pregame conversations at Coronado, the conversations I had, people were not feeling great going into the match. I feel like there was a bit of a thought of like, hey, this team that we're playing is pretty damn good. But I feel good about a 1-1 draw, at least about the result. Again, aspects of the performance that I thought were good, aspects I thought that we can improve upon. And shout out to that one player for Sac Republic that completely missed an open goal. That was that was pretty funny.
That was just, he was so intimidated by goalkeeper Coque Vegas, who is back in the lineup Friday after missing a couple games due to an injury. Just his intimidating presence. You get this in the NBA with these dominant defensive centers where just their presence at the rim alters shots. So maybe some of that was at play with the wide open net that and the goal that wasn't there late in the match. But you know what? Guess what? That happens to us too, like a lot. So I'm fine. I'm fine with it happening to somebody else and getting out of that match with a point. So that's two consecutive draws against the best teams in the Western Conference. gosh, I'd really like to get a win, mix a win in with these draws, but given the continued absence of Charlie Adams, who I believe I saw his picture on a milk carton. They don't do that anymore? Well, there was an Amber Alert, I guess, is what we had for Charlie Adams. Pictures from the match showed him in the stands, so he is still a person that exists in the world. So that's good to see. But have not seen him on the pitch in quite a while. And given how important he is to the team and the noticeable drop in quality with him not on the field, getting draws against the best teams in the West, I mean, I really can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're missing, in my opinion, the heart and soul, or one of the heart and souls of this team, not only on the pitch but off the pitch as well, a guy who's been part of this club for so long. There is certainly a noticeable noticeable absence there, and a noticeable presence and hole out on the field. And it's like you're saying, it's kind of the worst timing for this to happen because we're playing, the top teams in the Western Conference. But it's I'm fine with. If he's going to be out and missing these games right now, that's okay with me, because my hope is that we're going to see these teams again at some point once the playoffs come around. And we want him to be fit. We want all our guys back. They said it's not only him. We're missing a few key guys. So it's like, hey, I think
some due to suspension, but yes, others
exactly
have
some of their own choices. But right now, I think it's just about treading water and doing what you can to survive while those guys aren't out there.
Yeah, and now another aspect of Friday night's game, because it was a Friday night, I wasn't sure what to expect from the crowd. John, you were at the game. What did you think of Friday night's crowd? How was the atmosphere at the match?
I think, as we've been all this season, I think the atmosphere has been great, and the attendance has been great. I think this being a Wednesday match, it'll be interesting. We always worry, but last time, I don't know, we haven't had a Wednesday match this year, have we yet?
Is this the first one? It might be the
first
remember.
one.
I believe so.
Yeah, but towards the end of last year, I mean, we had worried about Wednesday matches, and frankly, I was surprised towards the end of last year how full our Wednesday matches were.
I feel like the Loyal might only draw 5,000 people a game, but those 5,000 people kind of come to every game. It seems like I was a little apprehensive in the beginning of the match Friday because 109 felt a little thin. The main stands were definitely a little thin, but by the 20th minute, the 30th minute, like it looked pretty full in there, and the announced attendance was north of 5,000. So I feel like the 5,000 that show up seem to show up, and I'll be interested to see what we draw for San Antonio tomorrow. Important supporter group news tomorrow. We do have a match tomorrow, Wednesday, June 14th. It is against SAFC, the San Antonio Football Club, who we just played in Texas to a contentious draw. This is the match that had their supporters section heckling our 16-year-old baby goalkeeper. And when they were doing that, he did keep a clean sheet in that second half when he was right by their section. So good job, guys. And the sideline tackle that wasn't with Grant Stoneman that earned him a nothing. I don't know if they gave him a yellow card during the match for that. It was not a red, but the league went ahead and suspended him. And of course, Nick Moon picking up a red card at the end of that match and suspended for the Sacramento game. So a lot of back and forth in that match. After the game, Coach Nate Miller had some words about San Antonio, alleging that players were punching and spitting on our boys in the box. I don't know if anybody has seen any videographic evidence of said allegations, but you know what? I'm going to believe it because Nate said it. And hey, we're fan media. I don't need very much evidence. Coach says it. I'm on board. They were biting and spitting and clawing and deserve everything they get. So they are going to come in with a big chip on their shoulder, and we need to meet them with a roaring 5,000 at Torero. Nate, what are your thoughts coming into tomorrow against San Antonio?
Well, I think this is a chippy match always, and I think it goes back to even before that last time we played them, even before last season. I think a lot of it goes back to that playoff match in 2021. And kind of where, I remember on social media even their social media team was kind of bantering us before the game. And then I remember Landon had, I believe, some comments about them. And so I think ever since then, this has been kind of I don't want to call it a rivalry per se, but there's definitely a little bit of nastiness and a little bit of edge when these two teams play. And I think it's because both teams are so good because, again, both teams expect to see each other again in the playoffs. And so, that's what you want. You want, hey, if they're going to come out with intensity, we got to come out with intensity. And, if they're going to throw a punch, metaphorically, then we got to throw one right back. And I expect us to come out with, come out there and match any sort of nastiness and any sort of come out and match any grit that they come at us with.
So coming out with intensity, this is something we've struggled with. John, do you have any confidence that this team in the first 20 minutes of a match can show us the type of intensity that Nate is calling for here?
Well, I'm going to put my fan media hat on and say absolutely yes. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle all year long. We've known it. We've seen it. I would like to hope for a big match. I mean, we're only separated by 2 points in the standings right now. This is a big match for both teams. We pulled out the draw with them last time. They're going to come ready to play, I'm sure. I hope we match that intensity, not just all game, because we do well second half consistently, but we have got to come out in the opening 20 minutes and really play like we're playing a home match, right, against a team battling for these top 4 spots and get us in good position. And frankly, we win this match and it gives us the tiebreaker over San Antonio, right? If we end up tied on points at the end of the season. So yeah, we have to come out strong.
Yeah, one thing about this team, and I heard on the commentary of one of these games that Loyal is known as a physical team, which I guess if you have Grant Stoneman, you're going to have that reputation. But San Antonio is a physical team, and this is kind of how they've handled Loyal and the play style that this team wants to play with. This kind of maybe less so with Nate Miller, but it's still there. This possession, beautiful game type of attack, and it's been very effective for San Antonio in that playoff match to just kind of attack with their defense by being very physical. So it's, I think, very important for Loyal if they are trying to make a case that they are a contender for the Western Conference. They want to be the Western Conference champions. They want to be in the championship game. Having your biggest opponents, your biggest rivals at the top of the conference in your home stadium back to back, you need to show that you belong in that conversation, because I mean, yeah, everybody gets a point in a draw, but a draw, nobody makes a statement with a draw. You got lucky in San Antonio with the comeback draw that felt like a win, but it's still only 1 point. Sacramento comes into the building and it's still another draw. At some point, you got to beat these guys.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead, John.
I was going to say, I agree on the one hand that, right, we only get the point, but also they only get the point. We are keeping them from pulling further away. But I agree absolutely, Andrew. We if we are going to be one of those top teams and say we're a threat to win the Western Conference title, we need to at some point start making bigger statements against these teams instead of just playing tough and drawing in these games.
Now,
Yeah,
I'm encouraged by, and I'm sorry, Nate. I want to ask you about this actually. So, I am encouraged by the resurgence of Ronaldo Damas. He's now scored in, is it 2 consecutive matches that he's scored in. He did start against Sacramento, whereas he came off the bench in San Antonio. Nate, what are your thoughts about Ronaldo Damas and his role in getting this team to where we all kind of think they should be?
Yeah, I think he's still trying to find his footing and trying to settle into the style that Nate wants to play. I think that the I was having this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and ultimately, I feel like some of our struggles in the final third aren't necessarily about like the players that we have. I think a lot of it is about the players that we don't have. I think that we are strongly missing the presence of Kyle Vassell. I know that was that was a whole situation in terms of the reason why he's not back, but I think that his style of play fit exactly what Nate wants to do. I mean, obviously, it's unfortunate that he's no longer here, but I'm not. And again, I'm not saying that as a criticism of Ronaldo Damas. I think that he has, again, still trying to find his footing. Congratulations to him. It was last week, I believe, he was USL Player of the Week.
Yes.
So again,
Yes.
That's
the brace against San Antonio.
Yeah.
In the comeback.
Yeah. So then that's 3 goals in the last 2 matches. That's great. I think it's that's that's what strikers need, is that they need that confidence in front of goal. So I think he'll continue to improve throughout the year. And I am excited to see what he does in these next couple matches.
Speaking of the next match, John, what do people need to know about the match tomorrow? When are we setting up? Where are we pre-gaming? And what time does the match start?
Right. So as usual, kickoff will be at 7 p.m. at Torero. We will do pregame for anybody who's helping with pregame setup. That is, we'll meet 4 o'clock in the circle. It's what we usually do on a weekday instead of the weekends. Weekends, it's usually 3. So we'll do 4 o'clock in the circle to get set up, which then also pushes back our Coronado time. So 5-ish to meet at Coronado Brewing for the pregame. But kickoff is still at 7, so we're still meeting at 6:35 at the Fountain for the march. The march will happen sometime between 6:40 and 6:45. Man of the match voting, as always, will open up in the 70th minute, so you need to do that on Discord. So if you're not on Discord yet, get on Discord so you can participate in man of the match voting. And again, I had some people ask me last match, just a reminder for anybody who might be new out there, our man of the match where we give the growler is different than what they announce in the stadium. Sometimes it's the same player, but we pick our own player for man of the match there and award them the growler at the end. So if you want to help choose who the man of the match is, you want to get on Discord. Post-match, for those who are interested, we'll be going to O'Brien's for anybody who wants to meet up. And then the last couple of big things that are very specific to this match. There are 2 merch drops for this game in particular. If you've seen it online or if you're a season ticket holder and got the email this week, because Andrew, I know how you love to read your emails. There is a hat, one of the official league hats that will be available for purchase in the stadium, as well as the purple goalkeeper kit. You'll be able to get those in the stadium if you are at the game on Wednesday. Oh, and last thing for us, probably the most important, because this is the closest game to June 19th. And in honor of Juneteenth, we are going to be doing a blackout in 109. So if you have your BLM jersey, if you own one of those, please wear it to 109 on Wednesday. If you don't, wear something black as well. Could be maybe the old Loyal Select jersey or one of the other things, but we're trying to do a blackout in that section. But if you have the BLM jersey, I'd like you to wear the BLM jersey. I think those are the big things for the match.
Yeah, I did wear my purple jersey in honor of the new purple jersey that is coming out. I think the new one looks better than this one. So good luck. I know it's also limited, also benefits Rady's children as the goalkeeper kits do. They like to, I think they give 20% of the revenue from the sale of these kits back to Rady's. So you can feel a little less bad about spending $80 on a shirt. Which is, hey, it's all good. You want to look good in the stands, and that new purple kit is going to go a long way in helping you do that.
Yeah, and then also, John mentioned, with this being our Juneteenth match, obviously, there's the BLM kit that was released by the club, but then we also have the locals Black Lives Matter T-shirts, which is my personal favorite piece of merch that we ever dropped. Partially because I had a hand in creating it, and I think it's important for us to acknowledge such an important event in American history. And I personally, as a Black person, I'm very grateful that we take the time to acknowledge something that is just so important and something that needs to be acknowledged.
Yeah, and thank you for the reminder about that shirt. I don't own that shirt, so it was not in my frame of reference, so I totally forgot about that. So thank you for bringing that up as another option for people to wear on Wednesday.
And also in merch news, if you are one of the first, this is also a limited hat. The corduroy hat is back. This is not the all green and orange one, but I guess it's like a brownish sand color that they've got on this one. It's also a corduroy. You have another crack at one of these limited edition hats if you get to the match early. So all the more reason to come out on a Wednesday and help us get over the San Antonio, the hill of San Antonio.
In other acknowledgments for the month here in June, we are also doing Pride Raiser as a reminder. So we got another goal in the match, Sac Republic. So that brings our total up to 4. So now, and I think, let's see if we can bring this up here. So we'll scroll down a little bit. So we have 4 goals so far that we have scored as a team. We have $151 as our total pledge amount per goal, which gives us a total of $604 so far for June. Again, as we mentioned last week, if you haven't donated yet or contributed, there's still time. You can do it all the way till the end of June. Or you could just give a flat donation if you don't want to do the goals pledge that we're doing.
Come on, it's more fun. Do it by goal. And then if they don't score a lot of goals, you just donate more.
That's right. So,
but we're going to score a lot of goals.
We're doing that. You can find it on the Pride Raiser site. There are links and stuff to it in the Discord as well. But if you can, go ahead and pledge for the goals, and hopefully we can score quite a few goals on Wednesday night against San Antonio.
So moving beyond Wednesday's match, John, I know you have the calendar in front of you. What are some other important dates coming up that folks need to know about?
Right now, I mean, just looking at, we've got Pride, or we've got the Pride Parade coming up in July. So I believe, I don't have, unfortunately, the actual date in front of me on this rundown today, but mid-July is when we do the Pride Parade, and I'm sure very soon July here in the next couple of weeks.
I believe it's July.
Okay, that's why I was thinking the 15th. But there should be something coming out in socials and in Discord. Usually what we do is get some kind of Google form to see what the interest level is, so we know how many people are looking to march in the parade. So that's coming up. We do have the barbecue with the team coming up, but probably the big thing that was announced this last week is we're playing a team from Germany here at the end of July.
Oh,
Nate, who are we playing?
Is it Bayern Munich? Is it the only team in Germany I know of, or is it a different German team?
It's a different German team. I'm very, very excited about this. For those of you that don't know, in addition to being a fan of San Diego Loyal, I am also a diehard fan of Borussia Dortmund. So
Oh no.
all of you can imagine my excitement when I found out that Borussia Dortmund was going to be coming to San Diego to play San Diego Loyal on July 27th at 7 p.m. at Snapdragon Stadium. And yeah, I am just absolutely elated, over the moon, excited about it.
Where are you going to be sitting at this match, Nate? I'm just wondering about your presence on this podcast now.
I'm just gonna take a sip. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water.
I know you're not trying to be part of some kind of wall, some kind of yellow wall.
Take a sip of my water and tell y'all that tickets for this match are already on sale.
They're not putting you on their podcast, Nate. They're not putting you on their podcast, bro. You're on this one.
Yeah. So tickets for this match are already on sale. Keep on going. And yeah, I made sure to double sign up for both. Obviously, being a loyal season ticket holder, was already signed up for that pre-sale. Signed up for the Dortmund pre-sale as well, and I believe the pre-sale tickets they became available. It was Thursday at 10 a.m. and by 10:02 a.m. I had already bought my tickets because I was like, yeah, there's no way that I'm going to miss this. So yes, very, very excited about it. Not only from a personal standpoint, but also I think that this is a great chance for the loyal and the locals to showcase themselves.
I mean, it's a massive club. I mean, yeah. San Diego Loyal is a huge, massive club. I mean, of course, we're going to draw top, UEFA teams because that's who we are. They want to come through here and they want to have their crack at the USL's greatest, one of the greatest pro soccer franchises in the US. So who could blame them for wanting to come through?
Yeah, no. So the day that this was announced was the same day that it was announced that Jude Bellingham is going to be leaving Dortmund to go to Real Madrid. And my buddy texted me saying, I guess Jude Bellingham was afraid of Loyal. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's just a coincidence that happened on the same day. But yeah, this is just going to be an extremely, extremely fun and beautiful night. I think just an opportunity, again, to kind of showcase who we are. A game that's going to be nationally televised on ESPN.
Who we are, and where are you going to be when we're being who we are, Nate? Let's revisit this, because I think this brings up a really interesting point about this match, is that these big European clubs have big international followings, and we run the risk of being outnumbered in our own home turf. Which would be just absolutely devastating to see more yellow in that stadium than Torrey Green and orange and all that. So it's very important, if you have the means, if you have the supporter group code, that you buy the tickets, come out and stand with your supporter group, unlike some other people who have already decided to not do that and instead join a different, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. No, I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying that I know that there are multiple people affiliated with the supporters of San Diego Loyal who are ready to just turn their backs on this club and march to the opposite side of the stadium and cheer against the team that we live and die for. It's just devastating, and all the more reason that as many people as can come out, support the Loyal. Given everything that's going on, the San Diego State backing out of a deal to have Loyal play at Snapdragon, right? In anticipation of MLS. Given the impending arrival of MLS at Snapdragon, you have a lot of kind of these outside storylines. Yes, it's just a friendly. It doesn't count. It doesn't count, but it matters, if that makes sense, that we come out and show the team support in these trying times.
And in relation to this a little bit, I I want to make a public apology for something I said on the show last week, and a complaint as well. We have talked how we always get called out in the chat when we say something wrong. And I usually do not listen to our shows back because I've heard them. But I was around the house and I was listening to a podcast that ended, and then one of ours came on. I don't remember if it was The Lounge or if it was this Loyal Locals podcast. And we were talking about Dortmund, and I referenced the supporters group as the black wall rather than the yellow wall. And I can't believe
come on, who
in
cares?
in the chat,
Germany,
well,
dude, we're so far from Germany. Like, we don't have to give them an ounce of respect. They're coming into our building, into our city, and they're going to play against our club.
Well, I just want to let you know, I'm around the house and I'm doing stuff, and I was taking a drink, and I practically spit out my drink hearing myself say that. And I can't believe nobody called me out. Not a single person. Not all week. Not in the chat. I don't know if nobody's listening, but I didn't get called out once. So I heard that and just cringed. So I want to apologize. I do know what the name is, and I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. But as a transition, also, speaking of German soccer, we had talked in the lounge and a little bit here for our Bums Book Club, and I would want everyone to know I have my actual copy of Pirates, Punks, and Politics. So I've already started reading.
That's a rarity you've got
a
your
little
hands
bit
on. Wow.
I know.
So this book club isn't going to have. We all have to share the same book. So you're going to read it. You're going to give it because there's only one copy of this book in the world, right? Like, this is the only copy.
You know what happens? Like, you just actually have to pull the trigger and do it.
I thought this was going to be like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, where they're all sharing like the same pair of pants throughout the summer. Does anyone
never saw it?
Anyone got me? Oh, okay. All right. I guess it's a Gen
Sorry,
Z.
I was busy watching Triple X and Fast and the Furious movies to make
Of
time
course
for
you were.
No, I do not enjoy those movies. Actually, I'm trying to shame Nate, which shame on me.
By the way,
like the fourth time you've done it in the last 2 minutes.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
But just one more time, for those who have not got their book yet, get your book, go order it, find it. Mine's actually a used copy. I got a used one, so we're gonna go and read that, and it's somewhere towards the end of the summer. We're gonna talk about it on a lounge episode. So go get your book if you haven't gotten your book yet.
Who says that the supporter group is not like a high and sophisticated organization with our book club? We're expanding our knowledge, learning about other cultures and other clubs. So it'll actually, I'm actually looking forward to this. It'll be a lot of fun to read it.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. And the last kind of internal group thing we have, our Supporter Gaming League team played earlier this evening, and they beat the LAFC Tigers. I believe that's who they were playing tonight, but they won their match tonight. I think, I don't know, Andrew, do you know? You have some connections to the team now. Are they undefeated?
Yeah,
young season here.
They're undefeated. I was actually had to race my my child home because he is on the team and he wanted to make it home in time to play. They moved the time up from their usual time, so very stressful, hectic drive home so that he could play. Yeah, from what I saw, they were up and they play a best of 5. So if they won, then that's great.
They won in 4 matches.
Oh, yeah. They've been winning in 3. Like, they haven't been it's best of 5, and they've been just really dominant so far this season. The first week they may have stretched it. It may have not been a sweep, but last week was. So
well, the match they lost went to overtime. So it was a fairly dominant performance.
So I went back and because my wife was very just tickled by the live stream of the Supporter Gaming League. The commentary, they couldn't figure out if we were the Loyal or the Locals, and it was just very funny, their commentary, and she was just like, I think she probably watched that stream like 5 times because she thought it was the funniest thing. I watched it only once, but it's actually kind of fun if you have some time to kill and you want to watch these matches. They do post them afterwards, so you can go back and see what we're talking about. But yeah, they're really good, and my kid's on there, so he's really good, and it's fun to watch.
All right, I think that's it for our news items. I don't see anything else on the rundown here.
Well, so we can transition straight into making fun of all of these suggested names for the MLS team, or do we want to save that for the lounge?
I think we should save that for the lounge.
Okay. So if you're watching the stream, that lounge will begin at 9 p.m. If you are listening to this on a podcast feed at a later date, it will be the next or previous. I'm not sure the order in which they're released. It will be next to this on your podcast feed. John, I do want to ask because we do have multiple products, multiple pieces of content on our social media, YouTube, and podcast feeds. What else is going on in the Bum TV cinematic universe?
We should have a Bums Breakdown episode coming out. I was just checking to see if it was online yet, and I'm not seeing it. I know they should have it recorded already. I know they were doing, because we all have a tight turnaround time with a Wednesday game. So it's probably going to come out early tomorrow. So look for that on YouTube. I'm not sure how quickly it will be out on the podcast feeds, but if you want to watch it before the match on Wednesday, check it out on YouTube. That'll be coming out. So that's with Max and Dylan doing the breakdown.
I can't recommend Max and Dylan's shows enough because, we barely know these players' names. Sometimes we talk about these games. I don't know what I'm talking about. I remind everybody of that every week. But these guys do know what they're talking about. And what they say does make sense. And they most of the time get the names right and the scores right and the dates and everything right. So I highly recommend, if you are looking for a show with that tactical, analysis of the team, of their matches, please check out the Bums Breakdown shows. And there's the breakdown, and then there's the after show, the after game show that they do.
Locals Last Call.
Locals Last Call. Check them out. Those guys do a lot to make those shows happen, and it's really good. So,
and we're trying to work out a new Kicking It with the Locals with the Steel Army from Pittsburgh Riverhounds before our match next week. So hopefully Thursday is what we're shooting for. So we're trying to nail down the logistics for that. So we'll get another Kicking It with the Locals out.
All right. Well, we've got about 20 minutes. We're going to take a break and be back at 9 to continue the stream. If anybody needs to get refreshed, have a light meal, perhaps. Nate, where can people find you?
People can find me on both Twitter and Instagram. My at NWiggins11 for both of those. Although I am deciding to take a bit of a break from Twitter. I haven't tweeted since May 27th, and my goal is to stay off Twitter for the entire summer. I am Twitter is a interesting place, and
has anything changed or something like that?
And I've just decided to step away from Twitter. But if you I will unfortunately probably be back on that site once the fall rolls around. So you can find me on there at NWiggins11. Again, same thing with Instagram as well, where you can see all of my fun Instagram stories, which are usually just pictures of me and beer. So good stuff there.
John, where can people find you?
Pretty much the best place to reach me is on Discord at John Cross.
All right, and I'm Andrew Dyer. I am on Twitter at Andrew P. Dyer. I'm also on the Discord. So yeah, if you have any thing to say, if you want to say something to me about my comments about the yellow and black wall, like, go ahead. You know where to find me. If you have any feedback about the show, if you hate it, if you love it, if you think we could do better, let us know, because this is your show, the Supporters Group podcast. This is the main one. If it is not meeting your expectations, or if there's something you think we can do better, please let us know. We would actually really appreciate that, because it would be incredibly helpful. We're doing this for y'all.
Agreed.
Let us know. And yeah, we'll be back at 9. So, and come out tomorrow. We need you.
All right. Good night.
Peace, everybody.
Any day, go for